10 signs of a female narcissist.
The healthier the person, the more in touch they are with what's happening internally. For a narcissistic person, they're really not in touch with what's happening. The internal core for the narcissistic person is quite damaged. The ego is very fragile. There's a tremendous core of shame in the narcissistic person. So defenses like entitlement, grandiosity, perfectionism, almost view it as like trying to cap a volcano. All of that stuff keeps that lava down. But you can't keep the lava down. Every so often, someone's going to even give a little bit of feedback, but that's enough to wedge that cap off that lava and it starts flowing. But instead of that being a self-reflective moment for the narcissistic person, they lash out at the person who dared moved the cap off the capped off volcano, and the volcano comes out at the other person. The challenge is we don't always know what's going to set a person off. And all hell breaks loose. What happens when that happens? We don't know how to talk to them anymore. We get more and more tentative. We're walking on eggshells more and more. But for them, they're not in touch with this process, because to be in touch with the fragile ego means that they're just ordinary like the rest of us. They're just a person. And that's intolerable. I've done work with a lot of narcissistic clients. We've done some good work together. We've moved the needle a little bit. Has that needle moving undone the hurts of the people around them? No. More in touch they are.
Have you ever wondered what the narcissist's biggest fears are? Well, today I'm going to expose the top 5 biggest fears the narcissist has. And of course, if you're new here, my name is Randy. I'm a toxic abuse recovery coach. If you're serious about your healing journey, make sure to hit the follow button for more content just like this. So the narcissist's top 5 biggest fears, starting with number 1, fear of being exposed. Narcissists wear a mask of perfection, but deep down they are terrified to be exposed. This is indeed their biggest fear. Number 2, losing control. Narcissists thrive on control and manipulating the narrative to fit their needs. The moment they lose control, the narcissists collapse. They no longer get what they want. Number 3, accountability. Narcissists will never take accountability because they don't want to be exposed. Back to number 1. So they deny, attack, reversing the victim offender. Narcissists will never take accountability. Number 3, indifference. Narcissists thrive off of reaction. This is supplied to them. So when they can see that you're indifferent or have no emotional reaction to their bullshit, this makes the narcissist collapse. And finally, number 5, the fear of abandonment and rejection. Underneath all of this facade that they have all this confidence and they're so secure, narcissists are extremely afraid of being abandoned or being rejected. They just simply cannot stand the thought of being alone, and this is exactly why they monkey branch. Narcissists have to have supply. And these are the... Have you ever wondered what the narcissist's biggest fear?
Your attachment to the one who crushed you? Well, it feels like chains dragging you to the bottom. Your attachment to the one who crushed you? Well, it feels like chains dragging you to the bottom of the ocean. Your soul, it wants to scream, but it's drowning in all of your pain. You want so badly to be free from these chains, but you don't know how to do it. Well, the first thing you gotta do is stop fixating on why they did what they did and start taking steps towards accepting that they did it. And there's nothing you can do to change it. Whatever they did, the reason why it's so hard to understand it is because it's outside of your character. It's something you would never think to do to another person. You can't even imagine doing that. But they clearly could, because they chose to do something you would never choose to do. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to understand them, because you are not that person. Your heart is so much bigger. The next thing I want you to do is remind yourself you can't undo the past. You can't change what happened. But you can show yourself compassion during this time and love yourself the way that you wish someone else would love you. I want to encourage you to ask yourself, what is it going to take for me to heal from this? And how can I fight for myself, my happiness, and a better future? And when you have all those answers, I want you to start taking small steps towards it, because this is the kind of love you deserve. So start showing it to yourself first. And when you do this, it will loosen the chains, and you will eventually break free from the darkness you feel. Just take things one step at a time, and one day at a time. Bottom of the ocean, your soul.
The reason that you're suffering is because you refuse to let go of the thing that's making you suffer. A lot of people are not going to want to hear that. You're holding on to the thing that is causing you the most pain, that is causing you the most turmoil, that is causing you the most chaos. Instead of choosing your peace you're choosing someone else's. And if you have to choose your peace in lieu of someone else being happy, that is what we call a toxic relationship. If you refuse to let go of the thing that is hurting you, you will forever be in pain. Here's the scary part about that. You'll be in pain anyway. Because the thing that's hurting you now, if you hold on to it in hopes that it changes, it's going to hurt you in the end. And if you let go now, you'll be in pain only but a moment. And then it will subside. And on the other side of that, you can find a new you. But we like the short-term gratification of appeasing our emotions instead of listening to the facts. And so we override the facts of the situation in lieu of appeasing our emotions. And so we allow someone who we should have never allowed in our life to hurt us, to walk over us, and to do as they please. And we do it in hopes that they change, and it never does. The reason that you're suffering is because you refuse. You see, you don't get to treat me any kind of way in my life. You can't just come in my life, disrupt my life, bring all types of problems and drama into my life, and think I'm just going to allow that. I've always found this so crazy to me, is that when you start treating a person the way they treat you, all of a sudden it's a problem. But there's no issues as long as that they can walk over you, as long as they can disrespect you, as long as they can completely ignore your wants, your needs, there's no problem. As long as you sit down and accept it and don't say a word, there's no problem. Nah, bro, you don't get to treat me like garbage and think I'm going to sit there and take it. You don't get to walk over me and think I'm not going to say nothing. Because what you're not going to do is walk into my life, destroy my life, then leave me and act like I was the problem. I don't care what you do in your personal life, but you're not going to enter my life. You're not going to enter the premise of my peace, disrupt it, leave, and think I'm just going to sit here and be cool with that. If I got to be the villain in my life for the sake of my own happiness and my own peace, I'm going to be the goddamn villain. Because that's what we're not going to do. You see, you don't get to treat me any kind of way in my life. You can't just come in my life.
Good line on narcissism. I think I've got a couple of narcissists in my life. So my line is, a narcissist, they've got the disease and you've got the symptoms. Pretty much sort of sums it up, doesn't it?
Okay, so before you go arguing with someone, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, are they even open to hearing a different perspective, or are they just focused on pushing their own agenda? Number 2, do they truly care about finding a resolution, or are they simply being defensive and looking to argue? Number 3, are they someone who provides a safe place for you to express your thoughts and emotions without fear of ridicule, dismissal, or invalidation? In other words, do you leave conversations with them feeling more hurt than understood? And by reflecting on these questions, you can actually determine whether engagement in the argument is worth your time and emotional energy, or if it's wiser to step back and protect your peace. If you agree with me, can you say amen?
If you don't trust someone to do what they say they're going to do, and if you don't trust someone to do what they say they're going to do, and if when they don't do what they say they're going to do, or they fall beneath a standard they can't apologize, then you have a fundamentally broken dynamic that no amount of love is really going to it won't overcome it to be able to make you happy. You're not playing by the same rules in life. And when in any relationship you're not playing by the same rules, if you and I have a friendship and I wrong you and I apologize, it's not the end of the world that I wronged you. You might go, I can live with it, and you've apologized. We're playing by the same rules. You did something wrong. You get it. You've apologized. We're both living in the same universe. But if I do something wrong and you call me out on it and I say, I didn't do anything wrong. In fact, what happened was now it's like, oh, we're not even playing the same sport. We're not playing by the same rules. We're operating in different realities here. If you don't trust someone to do what they say they're going to
Why does it seem like you hate all the same things? Why does it seem like you hate all the same things about me that you seem to love at the beginning? What did I do? You actually didn't do anything. I just made you feel like it was your fault. At the end of the day, it comes down to my envy, my entitlement, and my shame. What are you talking about? You've been with me all this time and haven't discovered narcissism and Googled it? Damn, I must be really good at manipulation. All right, well, anyway, let me break it down for you. In my true form, I hate myself and I'm filled with shame. I have really poor self-worth and deeply rooted insecurities. And so to compensate for all of that, I created a false self. And within that false self, I have these defense mechanisms that protect me from seeing my own mistakes and my own flaws. What does that have to do with me? To build my sense of self within that false identity, I usually end up latching onto people that I envy. Envy meaning I want what you have. So you envied me at first? Yeah, my envy saw your value. That's why I latched onto you like a leech, because you had all the qualities that I lack, and being with you gave me the illusion that I had those qualities too. Why did you start hating those things about me? At some point the illusion faded, just like it always does, and I started to get triggered by you instead of inspired by or connected to you. Why? I've been on your team the whole time. Because you have things and qualities that I want but I'll never have, so you turned into a constant reminder of how inferior my true self feels under this facade. When that happens, the shame within my true self is triggered, and my whole disorder is designed to avoid feeling that shame. That's when I twist it into being your fault that I don't have those things that I very much feel entitled to. How can I stop triggering this in you? You can't, and the harder you try, the more I'm going to hate you. Why does it seem like you hate all the same things about?
When you're in love with a narcissist, you're in love with the When you're in love with a narcissist, you're in love with the fictional character they created in the 3-4 months phase of the relationship.
Don't you feel that being with a narcissistic person is something that's addictive?
There's a simple scientific explanation to it. What narcissists do is that they are amazing for 5-6 days, and then one day they'll explode. So if they're always bad, they know you will leave. They're smart. So let me take her up and then take her down. Let me take her up. I'm amazing. I'm nice. I love bomb her. And then I discard her. I drop her. I make her feel like she's nothing. So what happens is dopamine, serotonin, and then cortisol. Dopamine, serotonin, cortisol.
100%.
And then even if you do normal things that give you serotonin, to forget about them, you can't, because you need that high. It's like being addicted to drugs. So what happens is you're hormonally imbalanced. And until you look within and work on yourself and fix that and change your mindset, you will always think that, oh my God, I cannot live without them. I cannot leave them. The truth is you can.
But surprisingly, when you cut the cord and you leave, the exit is very easy.
In the beginning, it's hard, but if you stay strong and go no contact with a narcissist, because they will try to hoover you and get you back every now and then, you have to completely block them, block their friends that are common friends between you, because they will send them to get you back and, oh my God, he misses you. No. That's it. Once you walk away and once the healing journey starts, then it's extremely profound and beautiful. You land in a place that is extremely amazing and loving. And then you look back at your life, you're like, what was I thinking? When you're in love with a narcissist, you're in love with the fictional.
That's how you ruin good men. That's how you ruin good men. If you are a woman who is not healed through their trauma, say you were in a past relationship with a man who was extremely abusive, and in your survival mode, you would match his level of intensity, so you would start yelling, screaming, calling names, throwing things in his face because he was doing it to you, and now you're in a new relationship, and you're with a man who doesn't do anything like that. He's a super sweet dude. He has his flaws, he frustrates you and gets under your skin a little bit, but once you enter fight or flight and you're triggered and you start throwing things in his face and calling him names and yelling at him and berating him because you can't control your emotions or resolve the trauma and the damage from somebody else, you are ruining that good man. And you're going to take a little bit of piece of him every single time that happens. And before you know it, you're going to have all the pieces. He's going to be a shell of a man of who he was. He's not even going to recognize himself when he looks in the mirror. Every single day is going to be Groundhog Day for him. He's going to wake up, know there's going to be conflict that day, go to work, come home, and know he is not going to be appreciated. And because he's not going to feel appreciated, he's not going to appreciate you. And in turn, that's going to build more resentment in you. And you're going to continue to berate that man. That's how you ruin good men. If you are a woman who is not healed through their trauma, say you were in a past relationship, if you are
One of the most frightening things about being with a female narcissist is that she essentially has no truth. She will say whatever she needs to say and do whatever she needs to do to get what she wants in that moment. Right or wrong means nothing to her, and the consequences to you mean nothing to her. Someone that has no truth is a very dangerous person because she'll lie straight to your face with absolutely no remorse. She can lie to others about you, damaging your reputation, She can lie to authorities about you, ruining your career. She doesn't care as long as she gets what she wants and other people believe that she's the victim. A woman that has no truth will also refuse to acknowledge who you are as a person. She will blatantly ignore your traits, talents, and skills, the things that make you unique and valuable. She will neglect you to the point where you question if you even exist to her or not. When you think of danger, you think about physical danger, but she is more than physically dangerous. She is mentally and emotionally unstable. Operating with no truth, she can destroy you. One of the most frightening things about being with
So for all of you wondering, why are so many people talking about narcissists if there's
sometimes a person
So for all of you wondering, why are so many people talking about narcissists if there's only like a small percentage of people with narcissistic personality disorder? Here's the thing. Narcissists don't think there's anything wrong with them. So they never go for treatment. And if they don't go for treatment, how can they get diagnosed? If they don't get diagnosed, how can they be counted in the data? They cannot. So if I was the one having chest pains and I never went to the hospital, I would never be diagnosed with chest pains. With narcissists, they're never the ones going for treatment. They're never the ones presenting in the treatment or therapy room. Instead, it's the people that they have in their lives that are going to therapy and they end up being diagnosed with depression, anxiety, adjustment disorders, all intrusive, like all of the things that all of these people that are victims of narcissists end up going and presenting for treatment and getting diagnosed with, but who never shows up? The narcissist. They're the cause of all of these things, but they're never counted in the data because they never show up because they don't think anything's wrong with them. So when someone tells you, oh, there's not that many narcissists, it's only a small percentage, that's why. So for all of you
sometimes a person can do sometimes a person can do you filthy dirty. Ooh. Sometimes a person can do you filthy dirty. Ooh. And even though they offer no apology or make anything right, just the simple act of seeing them behave kindly, especially towards us, can trick the mind and emotions into thinking, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe there's still hope. But there isn't. Not like this. That's not to say that they can't change or they're not sorry. Those may be possible. But if this emotional high and low are extremely familiar, then you may be on a track. A cycle. They hurt you, you push back, they double down, you eventually fall back, but they see this as permission to do it again until you finally say no more. And you mean it. The thing is, though, if you don't recognize the cycle, you miss the trap that comes next. You miss how their apologies, their gifts, promises, attention, affection, you miss how that kindness is all part of the track. The pattern. They never made amends. They never made it right. If they're not truly working on fixing what caused the harm, but instead are focusing on influencing your decisions, they're keeping you on that loop. When we want something different, we have to do something different. And they're likely not going to interrupt the pattern, so you'll have to. It won't be easy. But staying on that track isn't either. At least the other offers a path to peace. Boundary up. I hope this helps.
When a man wants to get married, he's only getting married truly for one reason. Because let me be honest with you women.
I'm an emotionally immature parent and
I wish someone would have told me that sacrificing my boundaries.
When a man wants to get married,
I'm an emotionally.
You can illustrate.
Good.
I wish someone.
I'm an emotionally.
When a man wants to get married, he's only getting married truly for one reason. Because let me be honest with you women, the men can work and provide for themselves. He does not necessarily need you to cook, clean, and have sex, because he can get sex from multiple women. They're giving it out. A lot of them can cook and clean. Their mother taught them, or they can pay someone to get it. So why would a man go past what the culture is telling him and choose to have a wife? It's for one real simple reason. Because with a wife, you can now have love, you can have support, you can have affection. So if that is not what you're leading with in your relationships with men, is love, support, nurturing, and respect, this is why your husband is now pulling away, because in the beginning you gave him those things. But as you got into the relationship, you got bitter, you got resentful, you start seeing his flaws, start counting that against him, you start measuring him against other men, and now you're pulling back on the love, the affection, and the nurturing. When a man wants to get married, he's only getting married. He's only getting...
I'm an emotionally immature parent. I'm an emotionally immature parent, and you will treat me with respect. You're not doing your job. What job? Well, your job is to make me feel good, to soothe me, to agree with everything I say, and to never have your own opinion or talk back. I also need consistent praise for all of the ways that I sacrifice for you.
That sounds like my role is to provide you with a sense of self-esteem and constant praise. And really, that isn't something I can do. And I really shouldn't be asked to do that because I'm a developing child with my own needs. Okay, here's what I'm learning. You believe it's okay for you to say and do hurtful things to me, and I should just be okay with it in the name of respect. If I stand up for myself, I'm told I don't respect you. Even though I rarely get support or praise from you, you're looking for a constant supply of praise from me. Basically, you want me to become a people pleaser. In 20 years, I'll become just that. I'll over-explain myself, apologize for everything, and put everyone else's needs first. You're teaching me that's what your version of respect is. And in the process, I'll abandon myself.
I'm an emotionally immature parent, and you will treat me.
I wish someone would have told me that sacrificing my boundaries in the name of empathy wasn't noble. I wish they would have warned me that all it would do is make me a safe house for other people's demons. I think empathy has to be taught in two parts. How to put yourself in someone's shoes and see the hurt they were given that made them hurt you, and how to understand that you still don't deserve what they're doing. Their scars are no excuse for the wounds they give to you. Their inability to heal is not something you can fix if you stay and continue to let them treat you in all these unacceptable ways. If you give them excuses and safe places for their darkness, instead of demanding they do better, the only thing you are teaching them is that you'll put up with it. We want to live in a world where hurt people don't hurt people, but the reality is that starts with you standing up for yourself and not accepting disrespect. You chose to heal. You chose to take the darkness the world gave you and still be a light. You chose kindness despite the pain you received. They can too.
Good men do finish last. And I'm going to tell you why. When a woman finally meets a good man after being neglected, taken for granted, torn down, you name it, all these bad men, she finally meets a good man. She doesn't understand what she's done to deserve this kind of love. She doesn't know how to receive that love. And when a woman is in that state of mind, she is constantly looking for red flags. And when she finds one, even a small red flag, she will cling to it and mentally check out of the relationship, and the man doesn't even know it. And this is where a good man does what good men do, and they will continue to fight and give grace and time, thinking that she will come around because he has no idea that she has already met.
I illustrate it like this. Person A lifts a stick and just starts poking person B. Person B says, "Stop that." "Stop what?" "Stop poking me with that stick." "What stick?" "That stick there, you're poking me, it's really annoying." "No, it isn't." "Yes, it is, it's really annoying, stop it." And sooner or later, person B, they grab that stick, break it in two, throw it to the floor and just scream, "Stop poking me with that damn stick." Person A starts saying, "Does everyone see that temper? They broke my favourite stick." The reaction has been focused on, not what caused it.
The person who has been on the receiving end of this over time, over and over and over, and it was like this reverse victim, narcissistic attacks. The victims are at their end. You react and you feel like you just can't even control it anymore. The narcissistic or the gaslighting person points the finger and says, "Look, they're the crazy one. Look, they're the one who's causing all the abuse. Do you see it? I mean, can you see it?"
You cannot be angry at a dog for barking. The dog is just doing what a dog does. And for the same reason, you shouldn't be angry at a narcissist for hurting you. They're just doing.
You have to realize that every time
You cannot be angry at a dog for barking. The dog is just doing what a dog does. And for the same reason, you shouldn't be angry at a narcissist for hurting you. They're just doing what they do. And a lot of the times, it's not even because they want to hurt you. They know they're hurting you, and it hurts them. But they're incapable of showing it. They're incapable of caring. Because in order to become a narcissist takes years and years of incredibly tough trauma. And by now, they're so broken and so closed up that nothing you can do or say will get through to them. Stop blaming them. Stop chasing them for hurting you. Instead, be happy. Be happy that you can move on. You can heal. You can become better. And the chances are, they never will. They will be broken and fucked up forever. That's the sad part.